Oh,
We are...
oh,
nope.
oh,
Nope.
oh,
Yes, nope.
oh, 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 ah!
This is no longer Bellular Live. This is now the Bellular Wild Ride.
Gonna have a celebratory nut.
Yeah.
So I think it's about time we get into the news and talk about, say, for our first story, the protagonist of World of Warcraft, Sylvanas Windrunner.
And her past.
So I shall hit the display plus cam button, and hopefully
that would
that
be
won't
helpful.
break anything.
Hey, it hasn't broken anything.
Hasn't broken
Fantastic.
anything.
So,
It's new for today's stream.
yeah. New feature. It works. Eventually.
So yeah, there is a new book. It's called World of Warcraft Sylvanas. It's written...
Oh, it's called World of Warcraft Sylvanas. No, it's called Warcraft
Oh.
Sylvanas.
Warcraft
cover-
registered trademark Sylvanas.
But the cover has World Love on it, so...
yeah.
So, okay.
So
Sure.
here's what's interesting about this. I mean, okay, so if we if we do a read of the blurb,
Where's the
like
blurb done?
yeah,
There
there.
we go.
So basically, it just goes and says we should probably zoom in and stuff like that, or not even just the Chrome level or the Safari level zoom, just so
of course,
everybody can
yes.
see it, and then offset it to the left so our chat box doesn't.
Yeah, easier said than done on this.
Yeah, we should set up a template
Oh,
for
this
that.
definitely doesn't play well.
That's grand anyway. Your basics there, though, are that this book is the entirety of Sylvanas. That's how they're framing it, and it sort of ends the framing with, well, let's see. The power to achieve her goals has never been closer as Sylvanas works alongside the jailer to liberate all of Azeroth from the prison of fate.
Wow.
So,
Big.
yeah, big. Her final task, secure the fealty of their prisoner, King Anduin Wrynn. To succeed, Sylvanas will be forced to reflect on the harrowing path that brought her to the jailer's side and reveal her truest self to her greatest rival. What's big is, it says here, Sylvanas' story is laid completely bare.
Yep.
Now, this basically means, right, there's been so many things where it's been us reading in between the lines and trying to guess her motivations and her intentions and what she thinks. I think that has basically made for absolutely god-awful storytelling in-game, where, Sylvanas as a character, taking all of the transmedia narrative stuff into account, I can find enjoyable, and I can like, and when I get chapters of books like A Good War, when they're written from Sylvanas' point of view, I enjoy them. I think that Sylvanas is a bad character in World of Warcraft, though, because of the way that she is portrayed. So if you take her knowing, all the transmedia narrative stuff, so much of it makes sense. But if you're an in-game player, you see stuff like her taking over War Chief from Vol Jin. It's played completely straight and completely heroic, like you should be totally in there with her. And then very quickly, she betrays you all. But in a way where the connective tissue there is not in-game. And that's meant that Sylvanas is basically just sucked as an in-game experience, even though she is an interesting character with a lot of trauma and interesting past and, all of that stuff. So, for me with Sylvanas, it's always complicated because of how Blizzard tell that story. And it's just that thing. It seems like, well, on the Warcraft team, you've got, I guess, Steve and the other people doing narrative. And then you've got CDev, which is creative development, which is a kind of cross-IP creative development team within Blizzard. It seems like CDev have had to pick up the slack because maybe, Steve and the people who are doing the in-game story, they're just not able to secure enough screen time to actually get the stories they want to tell with this character in-game. And that is something which, they are actually aware of. I remember there was an interview with Steve where he was saying that that they were aware that in Battle for Azeroth, I think just the pacing of stuff meant that there was just a lot of little bits of connective tissue and things that players didn't really pick up on, and it didn't lead to the most cohesive narrative experience. And I think no character has suffered more than Sylvanas in that, where
For sure.
I find Sylvanas fans are right up there with high elf allied race supporters in being some of the most diehard slices of the Warcraft audience. And while I don't agree with them, I can understand where they come from as somebody who has, who does take Sylvanas in the totality of her story. I really like Sylvanas in Warcraft 3 and, and all that stuff. But then you got the people who, they're only playing World of Warcraft and they're kind of sitting there being like, why is Sylvanas the main character of this? I don't understand her. It was actually Platinum WoW, an incredible World of Warcraft creator he made. It was a fun little tweet he did I mean, maybe you could bring it up on Twitter. That could be risky.
I am not opening Twitter on stream.
Fair enough.
I'll see if I can get it here and throw it over.
But basically, he did a joke tweet about, the year is 2025. Sylvanas has been the main character of World of Warcraft for 9 years. And it does kind of feel like that. However, I think they are doing this novel, World of Warcraft Sylvanas, because her arc, I think, is going to end. I think she is going to be cast into the bin. Not in a way that's disrespectful to her arc or anything like that. But I think it's about time to finish up Sylvanas' arc because we need other things to happen.
Well, we lost a bunch of frames when I swapped over to Twitter. Cool.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting, I guess. You know what? Twitter sucks and makes everything worse, including the stream.
Yep.
Not Platinum WoW, though, because he is funny and good.
Go back to us and kill that.
Yeah. So I think they're doing this because Sylvanas' arc is going to come to an end, and I think they just want a book that does Sylvanas. And that's her. In the same way, they did Arthas Rise of the Lich King. And, Wrath of the Lich King ended Arthas' story, and everything else up until that point you got in that one book. So I feel like this book, one way it could go, if the fateful decision is very much, the domination of Anduin, then I feel like this book is, there's a few ways it could go, because it could be the fateful choice, something she does in the raid, but it's going to give us the complete picture of Sylvanas up till that point. Then this expansion pack will just finish off Sylvanas' arc. That's that. Character arc done. Put her to bed for a while in the same way that happened with Arthas.
Yeah, that would be ideal. As I guess it's the thing that kind of irks me about it is, well, it depends on how it actually comes, how it all comes out, because if we see the end of her story, patch comes out, let's say July. I don't know when it's coming out, but let's say July. It comes out July. We see the cinematic as soon as the patch goes live, because data mining. Yeah. We're not going to see all the context of the campaign, or players aren't going to see the whole context of the campaign or the whole context of the raid. The ending will actually, the ending will happen, and then if there's anything in the book that explains part of it or explains her motivation for it,
lags back.
Yep. Yeah. It's going to be completely all of the grandeur of her finale is going to be torn out from underneath her if they can't actually make it so the raid event or whatever comes after is a not on the bow.
Yeah.
If they have to follow up with any explanation in the novel,
I think we're actually lag is back.
We should be back and better. Let's see. No, we're still dropping a bunch of frames.
So
that's unreasonable. So it is Oh, hang on. Nope.
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 Nope. Oh.
Yes. Nope. This is no longer Bellular Live. This is now the Bellular Wild Ride.
Gonna have a celebratory nut.
Yeah.
Fact 4 of them.
And we seem to be fine now. Okay. Good. We're going.
Blizzard DDoSing. That's it, Vlad.
Yep.
They've got us.
Yep. And you know what this is what this has reminded me of? Why I know why, but why on God's good earth have I put the stream monitor here?
Yeah.
Why do I not put it here or over there? Get a big TV, put it over there. That would be a little more useful. It'd be like, hello everyone, here's my very broad back.
What we should really do is you should put it in the ceiling above you, so whenever you have to go into tech support mode, you hit a button and your chair just kind of goes and it really looks techy. But okay, I think everybody actually did hear everything fine for your bit in Sylvanas. It was just a little bit cinematic. So I'm sorry to people who really loved the Order 1880. What was it called?
Order
1886.
Yeah. Oh, God,
we did approach that level of cinematic, but we should be back to our our usual daytime television selves.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. I really hope Connell or John can do something interesting with celebratory nut.
Yeah, I mean, I have another one. There you go, some tasty roasted nuts.
Yep.
Nuts are awesome. Okay, so.
And
Sylvanas,
back to it,
winner!
Sylvanas.
Woo!
Yep, Sly, old Sly. Oh, Sylvanas played by Sylvester Stallone. Let's do it. No.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, so I was talking about how was I even talking something about Sylvanas?
Anyway, you basically finished your point.
Yeah.
So that is the situation with Sylvanas. She has been, many bits of her. Oh, hey, is that Bashira? Is it the real Bashira? Who knows? But either way, hello. Yeah, so much of Sylvanas' character development has been inside books and stuff. That's kind of like, but at least what this is going to do, right? Because we've been doing so much guesswork and stuff like that. This will give us just the fucking word in Sylvanas, right?
Yeah.
This
finally.
is what she actually thought. So
Finally.
if you've been wondering, did Sylvanas get up and be like, oh dear, I'm sad, Vol'jin's dead, he's burning there, but I'm a new war chief, it's going to be great, the Horde's going to be great, all that stuff, and you're maybe thinking to yourself, did she genuinely think that? Or was she being cold and calculating, was like, I'm actually going to use all of these orcs? Well, now we're actually going to get to know. But we're not going to get to know now. We're going to get to know on the 9th of November 2021 in a book and 660-minute long Paddy Matson narrated audiobook.
It's going to ruin her vocal cords. Like,
Can you imagine going full Sylvanas voice with that?
11 hours.
I imagine it will be her reading it out, doing an audiobook performance, and not her just reading you the entire book in full, post-processed Sylvanas voice.
Oh, that'd be cool though.
That would certainly be something. So. Yeah. That's the situation with Sylvanas. We're going to get to learn a bunch more. In my head, I want to know, did she want to get the lamp, the lamp to subjugate Aegir? Like, was she doing that because Aegir is a major, one of Odin's, like the big, sort of Valkyr of Odin? Is that because she wanted to get more Valkyr for resurrecting fresh Forsaken and to give herself more lives so she can build a really big Forsaken kingdom in Azeroth? Or was she trying to take out Aegir because that's a part of doing the Jailer's dirty work? Because, of course, Aegir was the one who was able to tell us that Vol'jin had been touched by the Hand of Valor, so Aegir clearly is able to peer into the Shadowlands, know some stuff, so obviously Aegir could, of course, rustle about with the Jailer's plans. So we're basically just going to learn all of this stuff from this book, which, is exciting and interesting as much as there are a few little, narrative quibbles in my head.
Yeah, that raises a very interesting point. Obviously, the Odin is definitely not in any capacity doing something the Jailer would enjoy, because Odin's entire game plan is, oh, you're a really strong warrior with a super interesting life, and you're going to the Shadowlands? Nope.
Oh, so he's sucking the anima out, basically, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
that's
an interesting angle.
We sort of meme it up in one of the videos next week, but Odin's a cock.
He really is. Like,
Odin is bloody useless. He has got us into so many pickles as far as the lore goes. So Odin is actually a big old dickhead, which... you know what, I think maybe we'll do that video. Maybe Platinum WoW will do that video. I think it'd be quite funny in his style. Some sort of video about Odin and just how much of an arrogant dickhead he is.
You could imagine Captain Grimm's.
Yes.
Called Captain Grimm's version of Odin, where he's actually really incompetent and failing everything he tries.
Yeah, which actually is pretty much Odin. He sort of failed in all of his big objectives. Okay, so Sylvanas' book. There we go, we got that.